What do you do for a living?
I do construction. I am a lagger and bracer.
Very cool. How long have you been doing that?
About probably 3 months, 4 months.
3 months. So you're fairly new into
Yeah.
it. Do you like it so far?
Yeah, I think it's a good trade to have, especially young people who don't know what to do in life. I think it's perfect to do.
Yeah. How did you learn the trade? Did you go to like a trade school or somebody helped you?
Yes, actually, yes. I went to a trade school called Phelps Ace High School.
Cool.
And I was a carpenter there. And since I had my trade, I was able to, do anything for real. So, yeah, I just found out the company, say I could do some lagging and stuff. So, easy like that.
Found your way. And how much are you making in your role now?
About 20 to 21 an hour. Depends where you at.
Do you feel well compensated?
Yes.
Nice. I love it. What advice would you share with others who are interested in doing the same thing?
Stay focused, and I think realistically, consistency is key. Just stay focus on your goals, and I think you can achieve anything in life if you really just focus on it.
I love it.
I'm currently a personal trainer.
How much do you make in your role?
Yeah, so it kind of varies on how many clients I have at any given moment, but anywhere from like 48, 50K upwards of like 65.
Do you feel well compensated?
Yeah, I do. The more clients you get, the more you can make. So you can go upwards of like 200. It just really depends. I'm just starting out. I graduated college 2 years ago. I was working a corporate job as an office coordinator, and that I was making 50K. And I just felt kind of stuck there. I didn't like being in an office, sitting at a desk.
America.
Yeah, there wasn't much room for growth, and it just like wasn't my passion. So I jumped into training. I've only been here for about a month now.
Nice.
So I'm newer to it, but I'm loving it.
What did you need to break into
You
it?
do have to get certified as a trainer, so I did do that while I was working the office job. But I also just grew up, like my dad was a trainer. I've been doing it, working on myself for almost 13, 14 years now.
Nice.
So just experience and the certification as well.
What are the best and worst parts of your job? What do you like? What don't you like?
The best part, I would say, is having the freedom to kind of create a schedule. You are kind of at the mercy of clients sometimes, but definitely the ability to like have a break through the day, work out myself, shower at the gym, anything like that. And just helping people, obviously, it's a huge part of why I wanted to do it. Worst parts, I would say, probably working sometimes super early and super late on the same day. Sometimes I'm up at 4 a.m. and I don't get home till 11 p.m. So it can be a tough day.
How is your work-life balance? Like, how many hours a week are you working?
It can be anywhere from like 25 hours to like maybe 40. Yeah, it's honestly nice. You're not on a set like 9 to 5 schedule.
Yeah.
So the work-life balance is nice because you have breaks throughout the day where you can, like right now I'm working, but I'm going to get a smoothie bowl. So
What career advice would you share with anyone who's interested in doing what you do, or what have you learned that you would share in general?
I would say do something that makes you happy and that you feel passionate about. I know people say it a lot, but I think that when you first graduate college, it's scary and you feel pressured to just get a job instantly and try to like work your way up somewhere. But if you don't like it and you're not passionate about it, then you're not gonna want to stay there and you'll just feel stuck. So using the time while you're young to really just chase a dream or go for something, because if you don't do it when you're young, it's much harder to do it as you get more comfortable and older.
I'm a chef.
How much do you make?
70,000.
70,000. Do you feel well compensated?
For the work I put in, no.
Tell me more. What's your work-life balance like?
I think that there's a little less life and a little bit more work.
Any pros and cons that you would share about the job?
I mean, pros are that I get to do what I am creatively talented to do. So that's fun. The cons are I don't get enough time on the personal level.
Any career advice that you would share with others interested in doing what you do?
Be skilled.
Be skilled.
Learn your trade well
Yeah.
and do it well, and you'll be paid better. A lot of chefs waste their money in culinary school. They don't get real life experience. So it's important to get real life experience. If you do go to culinary school, understand when you get out that you're not a chef. You may have a degree, but you're not necessarily ready to get yourself into a real executive chef position.
A dental hygienist and
Cool.
former CDC public health advisor.
Nice. And how long have you been doing that?
Dental hygienist for 16 years. I make between $69 and $72 an hour.
What's the educational path?
You have to study science, you have to take chemistries, anatomies, microbiologies, and then it's very competitive to get in the program. It was probably the hardest, toughest, worst experience of my life.
Anything you recommend for others who might be going through it right now?
Your best bet is to definitely get your bachelor's. It just helps you pay more money. I would not recommend getting your master's and wasting your time with that unless you plan on teaching and going further. We're actually able to command our own pay. Like I actually just quit my full-time job, making about $72 an hour, and there's so much work out here. I've decided to work for myself, so I contract myself to offices. I don't mind mentoring other people, but I think until things change with the profession, we don't get the support that we need. I have 3 herniated discs, I've got spinal stenosis, I'm getting signs of carpal tunnel. It just goes with the job, the ergonomics. It's going to sound very negative. My entire channel, Blonde Ambition, on TikTok is about trying to get out of the profession. Not something I recommend longer than doing for like 15 years. That's the average career span for hygienists because their backs start giving out. Definitely have disability insurance from day one, because if something happens to you and you don't have it, you're screwed.
I am an apprentice for Inside Wireman out of Local 332. It's in Santa Clara, California. I'm going to be taking my state cert fairly soon. Yeah, so I'm going to be studying. Fingers crossed, please pray for me.
Do you remember how much you made when you started and then how much you're making now or how much you're going to make when you graduate?
Yeah, so when I first started, it was 32. It was 32 as a first year, not knowing anything, not having any kind of experience. Now, when you first start, you make 39.23. Nice. And for me, as an 85% fifth year, I'm making 74.09.
Wow.
So like
and that's your base rate.
That's my base rate. So my total package is $117.55 an hour.
Mic drop. I've heard it's competitive to get into trades sometimes.
Yes.
How has that experience been?
It is competitive, but I would just recommend don't give up, keep trying. It took for me at least a lot of convincing to even apply. My husband, luckily, bless his soul, he convinced me to apply with him. He immediately got in, and it's so competitive. I hit like the 80 percentile, so I was like in the 200s of the list. So I was like, no, see, like it wasn't meant to be. But after a year, I got to re-interview, and I already knew what to expect. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to give it one more try, and like God will do his work, and if it's meant to be, it'll be. I got in right after that. Like a week later, I heard back that I was going to be in the next class.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a general contractor. I get materials and, meet customers and really try to build relationships with most of the people that I deal with.
How long have you been doing that?
5 years now.
5 years. And do you have like an educational background, or do you not need a degree to do this?
You don't necessarily need a degree. Once you get past a certain amount, you have to get a license. But I've been doing it all my life. I grew up in the country and I had to do things my own way and just figured it out like that. So
how much are you currently making?
40 to 50 a year on average, and then the compensations that my vehicles pay for, gas, insurance, everything. So I get it's a lot of benefits. What I love the most is getting an opportunity to help people. Most contractors, I feel like you don't have that personal relationship.
Yeah.
And so I get to go in there and kind of bring that back to the table. And so I always tell people I build more relationships than I do just, it's not as transactional.
How's your work-life balance? A con. I found a con.
Yeah. I work every day.
What advice would you share with others who are interested in doing what you do?
I think the thing that's helped me the most is trying to be more personable and being genuine. How would I want someone to address my mother? Yeah. And that really has helped, that way it's, again, it's not as transactional.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a Journeyman Lineman Foreman out in Nevada for the IBEW.
How long have you been doing that?
A little over 40 years. I'm generational.
Nice.
And kind of a trailblazer, one of the first female linemen in the country.
Do you remember how much you were making when you started versus now, and what are some of those benefits you get too?
I do. I'm just kind of telling my age, I guess. I think I started at $7.95 as a groundman, and I make $68.49. I'm a crew lead foreman. Nice. And the benefits of the IBW, I'm an independent woman. I own properties. I own homes. I don't have to depend on anybody. I make a good wage. My benefits are amazing. I'm getting close to retirement, and I'll be able to retire comfortably, right? With dignity and respect.
What advice would you share with women who are interested in getting involved in the IBEW or trades in general?
Well, absolutely go to the Union Hall. I mean, we're always reaching out. The message is that women and young people can do anything, right? We need to show them that they can do anything.
I'm an entrepreneur. I do lashes and I do brows, waxing, bikini, lips, underarms, all of it.
How much do you make doing what you do?
Daily you can make from 500 to, 2,000.
In a day?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, what does your month look like?
It just depends, like the season, but I do really good, yes.
How did you get into this?
When you get tired of working for people and you want to make your own money, make your own schedule, you got to do what you got to do.
What are some of the pros and cons of your job?
You have to be friendly. I'm not really a people person, but in order to be successful, you have to venture out, and eventually, in order to expand, you have to be willing to be a people person. That's a con for me because, again, I don't like to interact with a lot of people, but it works out.
What are some things that you've learned as an entrepreneur that you would share for anyone else interested in doing what you do? Any words of advice?
I would just say don't give up. Gonna be days where it's slow. Then you're gonna have your fast days where you're like, you know what, I can do it 7 days a week. Just keep going. It does get hard, but just don't give up is the best thing.
I'm a dental assistant.
How long have you been doing it?
So I started in 2019. I started as sterilization tech in DC. So during my senior year of high school. And then I've kind of learned on the, so got training on the job, and then I started assisting.
How much do you make in your role?
So I started at 14 an hour for almost 2 years, which I, saying the minimum wage in DC was 15, and I was getting paid 14. I didn't know how to speak up for myself. So I went to school, got my X-ray certification. Came here in Virginia. I knew the pay was a little more than what I was getting in DC, and I started at 22. So I recently got a raise this year, and I'm at 27. I want to go back to school, so pursue dental hygiene. So I'm working on that. 27 is not bad. I only have 4 years of experience. My work schedule is perfect. I love my job, and I love my patients.
Any words of advice for others that might want to do this as well?
Find somewhere that's willing to shadow you. Check the state you're in, because every state is different. So you have to read what are the laws in each state. Dental assisting is really nice for someone that's bubbly, outgoing. You want to help. If you care and you want to be in the healthcare system.
What do you do for work?
I'm a union ironworker.
Would you mind explaining what you do on a day-to-day?
Walk I-beams, build steel buildings, basically. Warehouses, hospitals, schools, all sorts of nature.
I'm sure that comes with some dangers to the job as well.
Yes, obviously. Great danger sometimes, yes.
Yeah. And how much were you making when you started? Do you remember?
When I first started, I was making around 21. Now I'm in the range about in between $25, $30 an hour.
Nice, cool. And how long have you been doing it?
Non-union, I did it for about a year and a half.
Okay.
Union, and for about a year.
So you were non-union at one point, and then you became unionized. How has that change been for you?
Considerably different.
How so?
All for the better. I got all my benefits are paid for. If it's raining outside, we don't work in the rain. I'm not forced to do something that I'm uncomfortable with at any time. Every company that I've been with or heard about, they work with my schedule with my daughter. I am a single father, so there's times where I have to leave early because of incidents, or I get my daughter every Wednesday, so 8 hours, I'm out.
What advice would you share with others who also want to become an iron worker? How can they get into it?
Go to Local 22, put an application in as soon as you got out of high school. Don't even play around, just go straight in.
So you didn't go to college?
No, I'm actually getting my associates right now through Local 22.
And they're paying for it?
Yes, ma'am.
Hey everybody, it's Hannah here. A lot of people don't know that we also have an anonymous salary database on our website. It's completely free. If you want to share your salary, we would really appreciate it. It helps us get even more information out there for all of you. We're aiming to get 50,000 salaries submitted by the end of the year. So if only a fraction of you all share your salary, it would really help us all and you as well. Go ahead and check it out. It's totally free. You can share your salary and all the important contextual information like your location, education, years of experience, and company if you'd like. The more information, the better. It's completely anonymous, and did I mention free? Check it out. Please submit your salary. We'd really appreciate it. Okay, thanks. Bye.